Find HCF of 50 and 70 by EDL. EDL is nothing but Euclid's division lemma, or simply Euclid's division, or simply Euclid's algorithm. Whatever it may be the name, the same concept. So first, how we will do normal long division? Take it as it is, small number as the divisor and the bigger number as the dividend. So now 50 ones are 50. So remainder will be 20. Now this step only we need to write in the form of A equals to BQ plus R. So that is dividend equals to divisor into quotient 50 ones plus remainder. Now what is the next step means? This number 50 and this number 20 we need to take. Again we need to do the long division. So 20, that is small number, as a divisor, and 50 bigger number as the dividend. 20 2s are 40. If we do subtraction, so 10 is the remainder. Now again this we need to write it in the form of A equals to BQ plus R. That is 50 is equals to 20 into 2 plus 10. Now continue the same step again. Here 20 and 10 we need to take. So let us do division of those two numbers, 10 and 20. 10 2s are 20. If you do subtraction, 0 will be the remainder. Now write this again in the form of A equals to BQ plus R. So 20 is equals to 10 times 2 plus here 0 remainder. So whenever we get the 0 remainder, we need to stop the process there. So now after getting the 0, what is the divisor in the last step? That will become our HCF. So in this case the divisor is 10, so that is nothing but HCF. So HCF of 50 and 70 is 10. Next, find HCF and LCM by prime factorization. So first of 50 and 60. So first let us do the prime factorization of the given two numbers, that is 50 and 60. So for 50, if you do prime factorization, 5 10s are 50, 5 2s are 10. So now 50 is equals to 5 into 5 into 2. So these three numbers, this is 5, this is 5, this is 2. So those three numbers you need to write. 5 into 5 into 2. Next, coming to the second number, that is 6060. 2 30s are 60, 2 15s are 30, 5 3s are 15. Now again these all numbers we need to write, that is 2 into 2 into 5 into 3. So 2 into 2 into 5 into 3. So whenever if they ask a question related to prime factorization, definitely they will ask HCF as well as LCM, both together compulsory they'll ask. So let us check how to find out HCF as well as LCM from these numbers now. So first, from these two answers, check which numbers are common. Here 5 is there, here also 5 is there, so write 5 one times. Next, here 2 is there, here also 2 is there, so into 2 here. That's it. Except these 5 and 2, nothing else is common. So if you are writing only the common numbers, then that is considered as HCF. So in this case 5 into 2, 10. So HCF of those two numbers is 10. Now next, to write the LCM then. First write the common numbers, that is 5 is there and 2 is there, into. Now except these 5 and 2, what else the remaining numbers are there, write all those remaining numbers. Here into 5 is there, so 5 into, here 2 is there, into 2, into, here 3 is there, 3. So this number will become our LCM. So HCF is 10 and LCM will be 5 into 2 into 5 into 2 into 3. That is 5 2s are 10, 5 2s are 10, 10 10s are 100, 100 into 3, 300. So LCM of those two numbers is 300. Check whether 6 power n can end with the digit 0 or not. So here the basic logic is, to be end with 0, to be end with the digit 0, the given number should have 2 and 5 as the prime factors. If the given number has 2 and 5 as the prime factors, then only that will end with the digit 0, otherwise it won't end with the digit 0. Now let us observe here the given question having the number 6 power n. So 6 can be simplified as 2 3s are whole power n. As we know clearly, if it contains 2 and 5 as the factors, compulsory 2 and 5, then only it will end with the digit 0, otherwise it won't end. Here 2 is a factor but 5 is not a factor. So as 5 is not a factor, it won't end with the digit 0. Here the given question is 2 power 5 is equals to 32 and convert to logarithmic form. So here the given question is in the form of exponential form. Exponential form we need to convert to logarithmic form. It is very easy question. So 2 power 5 is equals to 32. Here answer is 32, right? So for that answer apply log, that is log 32. In the given exponential form, whatever the power is there, write that power after the equal symbol. Here the power is 5, so write that as equal to 5. Now, in the given question, we have 3 numbers completely. That is, one is 32, 32 already we wrote, and power 5, power also we wrote, and remaining is, this is base 2. So base 2 is remaining, right? That base 2 you write it here as the base as usual again. So exponential form is given as 2 power 5 equals 32, and logarithmic form for that is log 32 base 2 is equals to 5. The same they can ask in reverse also. Let us take one more example for this. For example, 3 power 4 is equals to 81 is there. So this is exponential form. We need to convert it to logarithmic form. Let us check how to do it. Here 81 is the answer, right? So log 81. Here power 4 is there, so equal to 4. Then remaining is number 3. That number 3 you write it as the base. So log 81 base 3 equals to 4. This is the logarithmic form of the given question. 3 power 4 equals to 81. Next, log 5 base 25 is given. So here log 5 we cannot simplify further, so as it is. Then what about 25? 25 if we do prime factorization, we can simplify that as 5 5s are 25. So it means 5 square. So base 25 I am writing it as 5 square. Now here we need to observe one thing. Here the power is for the base. So if it goes to the front side, it will become reciprocal. Here number 2 is there. So 2 reciprocal is 1 by 2. So we are taking it to the front. So it becomes 1 by 2. Remaining all everything as it is. That is log 5 base 5 is equals to 1 by 2 into this log 5 base 5 value is 1. So 1 by 2 into 1. That is nothing but 1 by 2. So the value of log 5 base 25 is 1 by 2. Let's check one more. Log 1 by 16 base 2. Now here log 1 by 16 can be written as 2 8s are 16, 2 4s are 8, 2 2s are 4. So 1 2 3 4, 2 power 4. Base as usual 2. Now here if you observe this main number, that is 1 by 2 power 4. 1 by 2 power 4 can be simplified further as 2 power minus 4. The reciprocal can be written as the negative power. Base 2 as usual. Now just observe the difference between the previous question and this question. In the previous question the the power is for the base, whereas in this case the power is for the main number only. So now if the power is for the main number, if we take it to the front side, it remains same. So minus 4 is as usual minus 4 only. The remaining is log 2 base 2. We know very well log 2 base 2 is nothing but 1. So our final answer will be minus 4 times 1, that is minus 4. Next, what is the value of 2 log 3 minus 3 log 2? Till now, if the power is for the main number, we are taking it to the front side. Now here already the number is front side, just we need to take it as the power. Here also number is to the front side, that we need to take it as the power. Then we will get log 3 power 2 minus log 2 power 3. If we simplify this, log 3 power 2 9 minus log 2 power 3 8. Now this log 9 minus log 8 is in the form of log A minus log B. Log A minus log B is equals to log A by B. In our simple terms, we can say in the logarithm, if minus is there, means we will write it in the form of division. So it will become log only one time 9 divided by 8. Log 10 plus 2 log 3 minus log 2. Here also same. In the first case, before log nothing is there, so I am writing that as it is, plus here 2 is there, then it will go as the power. So log 3 power 2 minus log 2 as usual. Log 10 plus log 3 power 2 9 minus log 2. Here plus is there in the logarithm. If plus is there, means it will become multiplication. So log 10 into 9 minus next term as it is log 2. Next, log 10 9s are 90 minus log 2. In the logarithm, if minus is there, means we will do division. So write log only one time. Numbers you need to do divide 90 by 2. That is equals to log 90 divided by 2, 45. So our final answer is log 45. Next, this is one of the very important questions. Almost in every exam this question is must. If x square plus y square equals to 25xy, then prove that 2 log of x plus y is equals to 3 log 3 plus log x plus log y. Now this is very simple. First observe the given question clearly. In this total, all terms are plus only. So the first logic is everywhere we need to do plus only, not minus at all. So now take this one which they give one condition. X square plus y square is equals to 25xy. From this second line I got to know that all terms are plus only. So whatever I will do, I need to go with the plus only. So that's why what I will do here, adding 2xy on both the sides. Adding 2xy on both the sides. You will get to know in the next step why I am adding 2xy only, why not some other number. X square plus y square, that is equals to 25xy is there. Now I am adding 2xy both the sides, right? So left side plus 2xy as well as right side also plus 2xy. Now if we observe the left side part clearly, x square plus y square plus 2xy, that is nothing but x plus y whole square. This is the reason I added 2xy only, not some other number, because already we know a plus b whole square formula, a square plus b square plus 2ab is there. So to make it to the square formula or a plus b whole square formula, that's why we added only 2xy but not some other number. Now here right side 25xy plus 2xy is 27xy. Now I will add log on both the sides. So here logarithm, here also logarithm. Now here the power is for the main number, it will come to the front as it is. So it will remain 2 log of x plus y is equals to log 27xy. Here it is multiplication. So if addition is there, means it becomes multiplication. If multiplication is there, means it becomes addition. Then log 27 plus log x plus log y. Next, still anything else we can simplify? Yes, it is, of course. That is 27 can be written as 3 power 3. So this 27 I am replacing with 3 power 3. 3 power 3. Next, this power will go to the front as usual because that is the main number. So we will get finally as 3 times log 3 plus log x plus log y. This is exactly equals to 2 log of x plus y, hence proved. Next question is, if set A is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4 and set B is equals to 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, then find A intersection B. Writing A intersection B is very easy. Intersection is nothing but from the given sets, which elements are common. only those elements we need to write here. Now let us check the first set as well as second set. Here 1 is there, here also 1 is there, here 2 is there, here also 2 is there, here 3, here also 3. That's it. Only these 3 elements are common. That is A intersection B will become 1 comma 2 comma 3. Next question. If set A is equals to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and set B is equals to 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, then find A minus B. So set A minus set B is equals to A minus B. It means from the set A, we need to remove all the elements which are there in set B. A minus B means from set A, we need to remove all the elements which are there in set B. So let us check once. In the set A, 2 is there, but in the set B, that is not there. So no problem. In set A, 4 is there, but set B, 4 is not there. No problem. Next, coming to the third element. In set A, element 6 is there. The same element is there in set B also. So remove that 6 completely. Next, coming to the fourth element. Here 8 is there, but 8 is not there in the set B, no problem. Here 10 is there, the 10 is also not there in the no problem. So if we consider now, only that is element 6 is there in set A as well as set B also. So that is the reason we need to remove that element 6 completely. Then write whatever the remaining elements are remained. That is 2 comma 4 comma 8 comma 10. That's it. We should not write any element from the set B again, because we are writing A minus B. So only from the set A. So 2, 4, 8, 10. Next, coming to question number 12. Are 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 and 3 comma 6 disjoint sets. So what exactly disjoint sets means? If 2 or more than 2 sets having no common element, then those sets are considered as disjoint sets. So common elements should not be there. Now let us check these given 2 sets. Here element 3 is there, here also element 3 is there. So in these 2 sets, element 3 is common. So that is the reason these 2 are not at all disjoint sets. Next, list the subsets of P comma Q. I think this is one of the very easy questions. We are very lucky if these kind of questions are coming in the exams. So first, write single element, that is P. Close it. Now again one more single element only, Q. So writing single elements completed. Now coming to two elements together, that is P comma Q. This is also P comma Q, Q comma P, both are same, because in the set while writing the elements we won't worry about the order. Now besides these all, you need to write one more empty set also. So these 4 are the subsets of the given set. Actually we have one formula also to write the how many subsets are there. That is number of subsets formula is 2 power n. Now in this case, if we observe 2 power n is nothing but how many elements are there in the given set. So in this case here 2 elements are given. So 2 power 2. 2 power 2 means 4. So total 4 subsets should be there. Yes, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. This formula we can use to clarify whether all subsets are covered or not covered. Because sometimes instead of giving only 2 elements, sometimes they will give 4 elements also. So 4 elements are given means 2 power 4 is 16. Then 16 subsets should be there. So to cross check, we will do that one. Next, set A is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and set B equals to 2, 4, 6, 8. Then find n of A union B. N of A union B is nothing but number of elements in the set A union B. So first let us find out A union B. Union is nothing but all the elements together. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wrote all the elements from the set A. Now let us start from set B. Here 2 is there, but already I wrote 2, so don't repeat again. Here 4 is there, already I wrote 4, so don't repeat. Here 6 is there, but 6 is not there, so write it. Here 8 already I didn't write, so write it here. So A union B is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Now I need to find out number of elements in A union B. So how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So N of A union B is 7. Next, check whether 3 comma minus 2 are the zeros of x square minus x minus 2. It's very simple. So whenever they are asking to check whether given two numbers are zeros of a polynomial or not, simply we need to substitute in that polynomial and we need to check. Now first number I am taking, that is 3. So in the given polynomial, wherever we have x, in the place of x I will substitute 3. So the given polynomial, if I write it again, x square minus x minus 6. Now here in the place of x I need to substitute 3. So 3 square minus 3 minus 6. 3 square 9 minus 3 minus 6. 9 minus 3 6 minus 6 as usual. 6 minus 6 0. Next, now second number I am taking, that is minus 2. Here the given polynomial is x square minus x minus 6. Now again in the place of x I am substituting minus 2. So minus 2 whole square. Here minus symbol is there, so minus as it is. Again x means again minus 2, minus 6. Minus 2 square 4, minus into minus 2 plus 2 minus 6. 4 plus 2, 6 minus 6, 0. After substituting one particular number, if we are getting the answer 0, then it will become 0 of the polynomial. Otherwise, it's not a 0 of the polynomial. So, in the first case, I got the answer 0. In the second case, also I got the answer 0. So that I can conclude that 3 comma minus 2 are zeros of the polynomial x square minus x minus 6. Find the polynomial for the zeros alpha comma beta given as 2 comma minus 1. So whenever in the question if they mention zeros and they ask us to find out the polynomial, we have one formula, that is x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. X square as it is minus alpha and beta, they will only give in the question, that is 2 and minus 1. So 2 minus 1 into x as usual plus alpha 2 into beta minus 1. So x square as it is minus 2 minus 1, 1 into x, 1x or simply x. Here plus, here minus, plus into minus, minus, 2 ones are 2. So the required polynomial is x square minus x minus 2. For this polynomial, the zeros are 2 comma minus 1. Next, 3x plus 2y equals to 5 and 2x minus 3y is equals to 7. So these two equations are given, I mean pair of linear equations in two variables are given, and he is asking in the question to check whether those are consistent or inconsistent. So what exactly consistent, inconsistent means? If at least one solution, if at least one solution is there, then those kind of equations are considered as consistent pair. Otherwise, inconsistent pair. So which lines are having at least one solution? It may be intersecting lines or coincident lines. These two lines having at least one solution. So these two are considered as consistent pairs. In case if the lines are parallel lines, then those are inconsistent. So then how we will check whether they are intersecting, otherwise coincident, otherwise parallel lines? That is by the ratio A1 by A2, B1 by B2, C1 by C2. This ratios we need to compare. So let us check one by one now. X coefficient is 3, that will become A1 by X coefficient is 2, that will become A2. So A1 by A2 ratio is 3 by 2. Next, B1 is 2. B2 is minus 3. C1 by C2, that is constant 5 by constant 7. So now if we observe all these three ratios, whether all those are equal to each other or not. Here first one is 3 by 2 and this is 2 by minus 3. 3 by 2 and 2 by minus 3 both are not at all equal. So I can say that 3 by 2 not equals to 2 by minus 3. That is same as A1 by A2 is not equals to B1 by B2. Whenever if A1 by A2 is not equals to B1 by B2, no need to worry about this third one. Here only we can conclude. A1 by A2 is not equals to B1 by B2 means those two are having intersecting lines. So if those two are intersecting lines means definitely consistent pair, because intersecting means one solution will be there. So those are consistent pair only. Next, 3x plus 2y equals to 11 and 2x plus 3y equals to 4. Solve for x and y values by elimination method. So elimination method according to the standard of a student, or else according to the interest of a teacher, they will explain in different methods. So always I will stick to one method only. So you also learn that one only is better, I think so. First equation you need to multiply with second equation coefficient. 2 I am taking. So multiply the first equation by 2. The same you need to do with second equation also. Second equation we need to multiply with first equation x coefficient, that is 3. So into 3, finish. First equation we need to multiply with the second equation x coefficient. Second equation we need to multiply with the first equation x coefficient. So now let us check. Here 3x into 2, 6x plus 2y into 2, 4y is equals to 11 times 2, 22. The same with second equation also. 2x into 3, 6x plus 3y into 3, 9y is equals to 4, 3 is 12. Now one thing we need to observe here clearly. Here this is 6x, this is 6x. Both are plus only, that is plus 6x plus 6x. If both are having the same symbol, then do subtraction. If already they are having the different symbols, then do addition. Here both are having same symbol, so do subtraction. So plus becomes minus, plus becomes minus, plus becomes minus. 6x, 6x cancel. 4y minus 9y minus 5y is equals to 22 minus 12, that is 10. Now take minus 5 this side, it will become division. So our answer will be y is equals to 10 divided by minus 5. 5 1s are 5 2s are with negative symbol. Y is equals to minus 2. Next, then how you will find out the x value? So take any of the equation. First equation I am taking, that is 3x plus 2y equals to 11. 3x plus 2y is equals to 11. 3 x value till now we don't know, we need to find out. So x as it is plus 2 into y value. Just now here we got y value as minus 2. So substitute that minus 2 here in the place of y is equals to 11. 3 into x, 3x as it is, plus into minus minus, 2 2s are 4 is equals to 11. Take minus 4 to the right side, it becomes a plus 4. 3x is equals to 11 plus 4. Then 3x is equals to 11 plus 4 is 15. Now we want x value, so take this 3 also to the right side, it becomes division. X is equals to 15 divided by 3. 3 1s are 3 5s. So x value is 5. X value 5 and y value already we got it as minus 2. So this is the solution of the given pair of linear equations into variables. Next, find roots of the quadratic equation. Find roots of the quadratic equation. Actually, to find out the roots of a polynomial, otherwise quadratic equation, we have a common method, that is splitting the middle term into two terms. But always splitting the middle term into two terms, it won't help us, because it is little logical, little tricky, and sometimes if the numbers are very bigger, means we couldn't able to do anything. So in that cases, formula is very useful. So that formula we are going to use now. The formula to find the roots of a quadratic equation is minus b plus or minus under root b square minus 4ac whole divided by 2a. Here before x square 2 is there, so that 2 is considered as a. A value is 2. Before x nothing is there, so I am writing it as 1. That is considered as b value. Then whatever the constant is there, that is minus 4, that is c. So c is equals to minus 4. Now these values we need to substitute in the formula now. Minus b value 1 plus or minus under root b square 1 square minus 4 into a value 2 into c value minus 4 whole divided by 2 into a value 2 again. So let us simplify this. Minus 1 plus or minus under root 1 square is 1. Here minus into minus plus 4 2s are 8, 8 4s are 32 whole divided by 2 2s are 4. Then that is equals to minus 1 plus or minus under root 1 plus 32, it is 33 whole divided by 4. Now root 33 is not a perfect square, so we cannot simplify further. Just simply divide it. Minus 1, once I am taking plus root 33 by 4, or minus 1, now I am taking minus under root 33 by 4. Here we have plus or minus, right? So that's why I am taking one time as plus and one time as the minus. So the roots of the given quadratic equation are minus 1 plus root 33 by 4 and minus 1 minus root 33 by 4. The same you can use in the polynomial concept also. You will get the zeros again. Next, find the nature of the roots. Previous formula is for finding the roots. Now in this case, just nature. So the formula is b square minus 4ac. X square coefficient is a, x coefficient is b, constant is c. Let us check what are there. Here x square coefficient is 2, so a value 2. X coefficient is minus 3, so b value minus 3. Here constant is 5, so c value is 5. Let us substitute in this now. The formula to find the nature of the roots is b square minus 4a. So b is minus 3 whole square minus 4 into a value 2 into c value 5 minus 3 square 9 minus 4 2s are 8, 8 5s are 40. 9 minus 40 minus 31. So here minus 31 is that is less than 0. So if b square minus 4ac value is less than 0, then the nature of the roots is imaginary. Next, if 2x square plus kx plus 3 is equals to 0 has two equal roots, then what is the k value? If two equal roots are there, means then b square minus 4ac value is equals to 0. If b square minus 4ac equals to 0, then the given quadratic equation will be having two equal roots. Now let us substitute it one by one here. B square, that is x coefficient k, so k square minus 4 into a x square coefficient 2 into c constant, that is 3, is equals to 0. K square minus 4 2s are 8, 8 3s are 24 is equals to 0. Minus 24 I will take to the right side, it becomes plus 24. So k square is equals to 24. Then what will be the k value? Plus or minus root 24. Next, write 4 terms of AP, that is arithmetic progression. If A is equals to 10 and D is equals to 10. So A1, that is first term, is also written as A. That is already given in the question itself, that is 10. Now we want A2, that is second term. So to find out the second term, for the first term we need to add common difference. That is A value is 10 plus common difference also 10. So 10 plus 10, 20. This is the second term. Now coming to the third term, that is A3. To find out the third term, for the second term we need to add common difference. So second term is 20 and the common difference is 10. So 20 plus 10 is equals to 30. Next, I would like to find out the fourth term also. So A4 is equals to find out the fourth term, for the third term we need to add common difference. Third term is 30 plus common difference is 10. So 30 plus 10 is equals to 40. So the 4 terms of AP are 10, 20, 30, 40. The same way, if you want more, then you can find it also. Find 30th term of the AP, 10, 7, 4, and so on. So to find out the nth term, we have one formula for arithmetic progression, that is AN is equals to A plus N minus 1 into D. So what are these alphabets in this formula? First of all, A is first term, N which term they are asking, and D as usual common difference. So let us substitute this now. So A means first term, here first term is 10 plus N, they are asking about the 30th number, so 30 minus 1 into, then common difference. What is common difference in the question? So instead of giving the common difference directly, they gave it in the progression only. So from the progression we need to find out the common difference, that is second number minus first number. So common difference is equals to second term minus first term. 7 minus 10, that is minus 3. So that minus 3 you write it here. Now 10 as usual plus 30 minus 1, 29 times minus 3. 10, 29 3s are, sorry, 29 to minus 3, minus 87. 10 minus 87 is equals to minus 77. So in the given arithmetic progression, 30th term is minus 77. Next, which term of the AP is 78? So whenever they are asking about which term, again nth term formula only. AN is equals to A plus N minus 1 into D. In this case, they gave the nth term, that is 78, is equals to A first term 3, this one, plus N, we don't know, we need to find out now, minus 1 into difference, that is second term minus first term. Here second term is 8, first term is 3, 8 minus 3, so the common difference will be 5. Now I am taking this plus 3 to the right side, sorry, left side, then it will become minus 3. 78 minus 3 is equals to N minus 1 into 5. 78 minus 3, that is 75, equals to N minus 1 into 5. Now this 5 also I am taking to the left side, it becomes division. 75 divided by 5 equals to N minus 1. 5 ones are 5, 15s are. So N minus 1 is equals to 15. I want N value, so taking minus 1 also to the right side. So N is equals to 16. So 16th term in the given progression will be 78. Next, finding the sum of the given AAP, that is arithmetic progression. So sum of n terms of arithmetic progression formula is Sn is equals to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. That is equals to n. How many terms is asking in the question? That is 10 terms by 2 into 2 into a value first term 2 plus n value 10 minus 1 into common difference second number minus first number 7 minus 2 5. Let us simplify this. 2 ones are 2 5s are. So we remains this 5 times 2 2s are 4 plus 10 minus 1 9 into 5. That is equals to 5 times 4 plus 9 5s are 45. So this will be 5 into 4 plus 45 49. 5 times 49. 5 nines are 45, 5 4 carry 245. So 5 into 49 is 245. So for the given progression, the sum of the first 10 terms is 245. Next, find the distance between 2 comma 3 and 4 comma 1. Here 2 points are given. So the formula for finding the distance between 2 points is under root x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. In the given question, the first one you take it as x1 y1, the second one you take it as x2 y2. In reverse, if you take also, you'll get the same. This as x1 y1 and this as x2 y2 also, you'll get the same answer, no doubt at all. Now let us substitute. Under root x2 is 4 minus x1 is 2 whole square plus y2 is 1 minus y1 is 3 whole square. Under root 4 minus 2 2 square plus 1 minus 3 minus 2 whole square. That is under root 2 square is 4 plus minus 2 square also 4 only. So 4 plus 4 under root 8. So root 8 units is the distance between the given 2 points. If the distance between x comma 7 and 1 comma 15 is 10, then find the x value. So here again the distance formula only. So this one I am taking as x1 y1 and this as x2 y2. Let us substitute in the formula. x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square under root x2 is 1 minus x1 is x whole square plus y2 is 15 minus y1 is 7 whole square. Now in this case he mentioned that the distance is 10, so make it is equals to 10. Now if we observe this line clearly, left side part we have square root, whereas right side nothing is there. So to remove that square root, do squaring on both the sides. This cancel. So we remains with 1 minus x whole square plus 15 minus 7 whole square is equals to 10 square. 1 minus x whole square as it is plus 15 minus 7 8 square is equals to 10 square 100. This 8 square I will take to the right side. So I will get 1 minus x whole square is equals to 100 minus 8 square 64. 1 minus x whole square is equals to 100 minus 64, it is 36. Now 1 minus x whole square is 36, means when what about 1 minus x value, that is plus or minus 6, because 6 6 are 36. Once take plus 6, once take minus 6. First I am going with plus 6. 1 minus x is equals to plus 6. Bring plus 6 this side and take minus x that side. 1 minus 6 is equals to x. Then 1 minus 6, that is minus 5. So x value is minus 5. Now let us take it as minus 6. 1 minus x is equals to minus 6. Take minus 6 to the left side and bring minus x to the right side. 1 minus x, 6 will become plus 6 is equals to minus x will become plus x. Then x is equals to 1 plus 6, 7. So x value, it may be minus 5, it may be 7 also. Find the slope of the given points 4 comma minus 8 and 5 comma minus 2. So here these 2 points together will form a line. That line slope we need to find out. This again, as usual, I am taking as x1 y1 and this as x2 y2. What is the slope formula? Slope can be represented with a tan theta, otherwise with alphabet em also. So the slope formula is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Here y2 is minus 2 minus y1 is minus 8 by x2 is 5 minus x1 is 4. Minus 2 minus into minus 8 plus 8 by 5 minus 4, 1. In the denominator 1 doesn't have any value, so this we can simplify it as minus 2 plus 8. Minus 2 plus 8 is 6. So the slope of the given line with the 2 points is 6.